So my name's Lori DeCross. I'm actually a client of BeBalanced. I started my journey back in 2020, and to date so far, I have lost a total of 101 pounds doing the BeBalanced program.
Yay.
I also, through that journey of having my symptoms cleared up and the weight loss, I became a coach and also a center manager for BeBalanced. Today with me, I have two of our other clients, Danielle and Natalie. And Danielle has lost over 60 pounds doing the program, and Natalie has lost a little over 90 pounds as well. So combined, we're a total of 250 plus pounds through this program.
Feels good.
So
Yeah.
for any of you guys who are new to BeBalanced, haven't done a consult yet, let me tell you a little bit about us here real quick. We are an all-natural and holistic alternative for balancing hormones for weight loss and also symptom relief. So things like mood, sleep, energy, PMS, or menopause symptoms. Our program is a combination of 4 key components that are a whole food eating plan, stress reduction and management, also all natural plant-based supplementation, and then finally having a coach to guide you through the whole process. Now, the reason that we're here today is because, like all of you out there, we have been in your shoes 100% of the way, right? We have not felt good. We weren't ourselves by any stretch of the imagination. We were dieting, we were exercising, we were struggling with our weight. We were going to doctors. Nothing helped us whatsoever until we did this program. So we thought it was really important to come on here today and let you guys know that you may have questions or concerns like, what is BeBalanced? What is it about? How is this? Will it really work for me? And we wanted to share our experience to kind of give you those answers today. So let's get started. All right, so I'm going to start with Danielle here. Danielle, you've lost a little over 60 pounds, right? What other issues were you having before you got started, and what else did you try before this?
So I was having night sweats. I was having just mood swings. I was just all kinds of, perimenopause. So I was having all kinds of different symptoms that I don't even know that I was aware that I was having.
Yeah.
And I did an intermittent fast. I've done other weight loss programs, and the weight would always come back. I lost it and it would always come back. So one day I passed by and got online, looked at it. I actually talked with a couple clients about it, and I said, oh, I'm going to try it. Came for a consultation and decided, I think this is for me. I'm going to go for it.
Yeah. So you had other people coming in for where you were, telling you that they've done the program and what it was like, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Not all of us have that luxury, but that is nice to have.
Yeah. I have a lot of people coming in, and we talk about a lot of stuff, and so
sure,
this is one of those things.
Sure. And then Nat, you got started on the program as well, but what were you having beforehand, and what all did you try?
Really bad acid reflux, mood swings, just sluggish, not feeling myself, not being able to do stuff with my children and my family. The weight was just really holding me back.
Yeah. And you know, my story is pretty much the same as well. I was early into menopause, so 38 is when I started menopause, and from there forward, like, I was a hot mess. Hot flashes rolling, not sleeping, extremely moody, very short and snappy, right? No energy whatsoever as well. And I was having really bad daily migraines, acid reflux too, but I was on prescriptions for the acid reflux and the migraines and really wanted to get off of that, right?
Yes.
So you've tried other things, right? And nothing's worked for you. If you're like me, probably a little bit down and you know, thinking that this is just what you have to be like, because that's what the doctors have told us, right? It's normal, right? Were you nervous? Were you excited? Were you a little bit skeptical coming into the program? Tell me what that was like for you.
I think I was nervous but excited at the same time. And you know, after the consultation, I thought, well, this is going to be a doable thing. I liked that it was all whole foods. I liked that there was nothing processed. Got rid of a lot of that stuff out of my diet because that's what I was eating all of it.
Yeah.
It's easy, it's quick, it's,
Yeah.
and it just wasn't doing anything
Yeah.
for you. For
Yeah.
me, wasn't doing anything for me.
Our lives in society, everything's
Mhm.
got to be quick now, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how about you, Danielle? Anything that you were worried about up front?
Well, for me, this was my last straw. It was this was my last thing that I was going to try, and then I was going to look into surgery.
Okay.
So this was.
So no skepticism, not worried, like
Well,
this is it for me, right?
This is it.
There
It
is
was
no
either
other
this
hope.
is going to work, or I'll have to go to extreme measures, which I didn't want to do, having young children at home.
So why did you decide that this was the last straw? This was the last thing you were going to try? What was it about the BeBalanced program that made you decide this is the one thing that I'm going to go ahead and stick my neck out and try again? Because I've failed before. Why would I try something else?
I think because it was all like the natural foods, having the coaching, having the guidance, I really felt that there was enough support to make it through.
A ton of support.
Yes.
You can call anytime. You were always available to me. If you weren't, someone
Call,
else was.
text, yes.
All of that. Just emails, anything.
Yep.
Yeah, that coaching aspect I think is important. One of the reasons why I joined as well. I had a fabulous coach too, who was always there for me, and that was motivation, right? But it was nice because everything else that I tried before too, right? You're on your own, right? You do it, and then that's just it. You're done. You have a question? Oh wow. So it was nice to have somebody to reach out to and say, hey, what about this? What about that? Or I'm experiencing this or that. And what is that like? I think for me, one of the main things that I was really drove me to trying something else again, right? Because I had done everything else, right? I'd done the diets. I drug my husband through vegan. Guess what? He lost weight. I didn't, right? Typical guy thing. But the hormone piece of it was what I internally knew was my problem, right? And so the only reason that I chose BeBalanced was because they mentioned that they were doing hormones that would help me with the weight loss and help me with the symptoms. That was the one thing that I had not tried yet. So it was different. And I thought, well, if I'm going to try something, it's going to be something different, right?
Yeah. Well, I like the plant-based aspect of it too. Because you hear
Exactly.
hormone, and sometimes people are afraid, but you don't have to be afraid of this.
Mm-hmm. And I think that the maintenance part of it too, right? Like most programs don't let you, they have nothing for you once you're done, right? It's like,
Nothing
yeah, you're
after.
done. Congrats to you, right? You're done. So the whole concept of, this program's going to take me through some maintenance as well was something that was important to me because you guys want to do this again, right? Like after you diet and exercise, you don't want to, you lose weight, you don't want to do it again. You do this, you don't feel better, you don't want to do it again, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So as far as that first month, so now you got started in the program, right? We took the leap of faith, we got in, we got started. What was that first month like? Even the first couple of days, first week, first month, what was it like for you?
I was just super excited, just super excited to try something new and to have the support and to get on the scale every day and notice the scale going down almost every day. I mean, it was just so exciting. It kept you into it, and knowing that you can cook dinner for your family and you just it was real food that you're eating.
Yeah. Now, did you have trouble cooking that food for your family? How did you manage that?
No, because I would cook. I would do a protein and a vegetable, and if they had a starch, I would just skip the starch.
Very good. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, what she said about the scale. When you see that scale go down
Yes.
every single day, even if it's 0.2,
Yeah.
you're still, oh my gosh, it's working.
Yeah.
Nothing has worked for me for so long,
Yeah.
and this is actually working.
Yeah.
And I'm not starving. I'm not depriving myself of anything. You are in a limited foods of your selection, but you just keep going with it. It keeps you motivated.
Yeah.
Seeing that scale and feeling better keeps you motivated to go.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point as well. You do have some foods that you can and can't have, right?
Yes.
But the nice thing is that it's not for forever, right?
No,
right.
As soon as you hit maintenance, the foods come back, right? So that you don't feel like you're dieting long term. You can have foods that you like. You can have social events and holidays and vacations and all that good stuff. So that was also nice. And I think that, instant gratification, instant motivation with the scale moving down is wonderful as well. Even with that, that was very motivating for me too, but I was still skeptical. Like, I'll tell you, even through the whole first 2 months of me doing this, so 2 months, right? First month, I'm still skeptical, right? Like, every day I'm getting on the scale and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's just water weight. And then the next couple of days, it's still coming off. Okay, well, maybe it is working, but it's going to stop the next day. Like, did you guys have any of those thoughts through there? Like, it's just going to stop.
A little bit. And you think, okay, well, as soon as I get out of this phase, it's all coming back.
Yes.
It's all going to come back.
Yeah.
So I'm doing this, but oh my gosh, it's going to come back. And it doesn't.
Right.
I mean, it just doesn't. Depends what you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's sustainable.
Yeah.
This is the most sustainable thing that I have found. You can eat whatever you want, but you have to only have this much of this many calories or this many. I can't eat whatever I want. My body does not allow me to do that. I know that I can't. So I have found something that I can eat and enjoy all these whole foods, good foods for me, and it's very sustainable.
Yeah.
And I don't feel any kind of deprived or anything.
Right.
Exactly.
It very
works.
satisfying.
Very.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. All right, so you're into the program, right? We're in it. Anything that you found that was hard or difficult while you were in, let's just say the first month or two, because I know we've all done multiple months of this. Anything that was a hard struggle for you up front?
I think beginning it, other than before this diet, I never really food prepped. If I did anything else, I would buy frozen meals and eat those. And that would be how I would diet as well. So the food prep I thought was going to be, I was nervous about that, but it isn't as difficult as it was easier than I thought, but that was one of the things where I just, oh my gosh, can I do this? Can I continue to do this? Can I find the time to do this every week?
Yeah. Nat, anything you found?
I think that just in the beginning, just a little nervous to tell anyone what I was doing because I wanted to see if it was actually going to work. And then, of course, once people start noticing what you're doing, then I'm like, oh, I'm going to just start sharing it with everyone. But I think that was something that, maybe a little worried or skeptical at first, just to make sure that that I've made this commitment to myself that it was actually going to work for me.
Yeah, and I think for me as well, the hardest part, I had so many months, right? Like you guys, so many months to do. And the hardest thing was I started this in June, right? So I went through 4th of July. I went through Labor Day. I went through Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year, right? All those holidays in that first 6 months of me doing this. And that was initial concern for me. Like, can I do that, right? Can I stick to this? And not being hungry, right? You're not hungry when you're in this. So I wasn't hungry. I wasn't craving anything. I was motivated by the results. I was feeling good. And so for me, that was an initial concern. And I thought that was going to be really hard, but it wasn't. And if I was going somewhere and they weren't having something that I knew that I could eat, right, then I would take my own, or I would eat before I went, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just that kind of adjustment really keeps you on track.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I've made it through holidays, concerts. I mean, it's endless. And if you plan ahead, you can stay on track without a problem.
Yeah. I think the planning and the prepping is actually, very, very helpful.
Yes.
Right?
Very.
Yes. Because if not, we go back to quick and easy, right?
Yeah.
And that's where we get into trouble again. So what did you do to stay motivated? We had a long journey, right? The more that you have to lose, the longer you got to go. How did you stay motivated to go? Like, how many months have you been in the program? How many months did it take you to get the weight off?
So I started last August, toward I think August 23rd to be exact. And by the end of April, with breaks in between, vacation, went to Disney, I lost over 90 pounds.
Okay.
And I've been able to maintain it. And I know that if I need to do another round, I come in, talk to you, do another round, no problem, kind of get myself back in check.
Right.
And to have the support has been wonderful. So really in a short period of time, I think that was only 8 months.
Yeah.
And there was breaks in between.
Yeah.
and holidays and vacations and everything.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I think it's nice that you want to jump in and plow straight through, have at it, right? If you want to, or you need to, because, something's come up. I did 3 months and then I took a 3-month hiatus, but I maintained.
Yes.
And that was super,
Yes.
like when you were off, you were able to maintain, right?
Yeah.
And so that was really empowering because that did a lot for the psyche that, you know what, when I am done with this, I'm not done with my weight loss yet, but when I am, look, I'm going to be able to maintain this, because I don't know about you, but I couldn't have lasted 3 weeks before without gaining weight, let alone 3 months with anything else I tried.
It's very motivating when you're in the maintenance phase and you realize, oh, wow, I'm doing this. I am maintaining.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have a question from the audience.
Oh, we have a question. So we're gonna pause for a second. Let's do a question.
So a question from Rosemary. She's done every diet imaginable.
Same.
Same. Check. Yeah.
What makes your program work?
I think our program, it's different because weight and symptoms, right, are a derivative of 4 key hormones that aren't balanced. Stress plays a huge part into those hormones not being balanced. Aging, heading into menopause, being in menopause, or even after menopause, those are also things that we are definitely seeing contributing to how we're feeling. And regular traditional diet and exercise does not help you to balance all 4 of those key hormones so that you can get relief, so that you can lose the weight and lose it quickly. So that's what you're going to get from this program. You're going to get all of those areas all at the same time, and that's what makes it really successful.
You're going to get all the coaching support, any support you need, any question you call, you can text, you can email, you can come in and get a consultation. If you have a stall in your weight loss, because it's going to happen, they're going to be able to guide you through it and get you to where you need to be.
Yeah, you guys have said it all. All I would be doing would be reiterating. The coaching. I could call for anything.
Yes.
And somebody there's always someone here.
Yeah.
And if somebody can't get it here, it goes to another center, and someone can answer your question there.
I think that the point that it's all laid out for you too. Like if you try to piecemeal this together, right? Like it's hard. If you have something structured and it's laying right in front of you and they say, just do this.
Yes.
Right? It's
honestly,
so
it is simple.
easy to do
Yeah.
if you just do this.
Yeah. It's simple. It really is. And honestly, when you're out of like your round or your phase, you're kind of like, oh, I wish I could go back, because it's easier to follow.
Very structured. Yeah. So the weight loss months are very, very structured. And then when we start bringing foods back, right, it opens up a little bit. So there's a little more leeway. There is. I get a lot of folks, as a coach, right? I get a lot of people and I felt the same way. They come in and they're like, oh, this is going to be so hard. And then they get into it. And then once you're in it, it's just like clockwork, right?
Yes.
And then you hit maintenance and it's like, now you have a little more liberties. And it's like, well, no, I want that. I thought it was hard, but it's not. Now that's what I want again, right?
Yeah.
But there is structure in maintenance and throughout as well. Just a little more leeway.
So we have another question from the chat.
All right. Love questions.
Yep. So Anne has been on the program, and she was in phase 2. But now she's totally off and she's gaining weight.
Yeah.
So she's not, she's struggling. So what kind of advice? You guys have all had bumps in the road.
Absolutely. But if you go back to what you were doing before, of course the weight's going to come back on. You can't go back to the way you were before. You have to learn from, what can you tolerate? What can your body tolerate? What can it not tolerate? And I know, just from going through the program, I know what foods agree with me and what foods don't agree with me. And if you go on an all night, let's just see what the pantry has. Well, of course the weight's going to come back on.
Yeah.
So you can't go back. It has to be a lifestyle change.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. So you've been off before, right? We've all been off before. Yeah,
yes.
You're not alone. We've all been there
yes,
for one
absolutely.
reason or another. Life kicked in, we were weak moment, whatever happened, right? What did you guys do to get back on?
I was off from May until I actually just decided to do another round to kind of get myself back in check. and maybe just to get off a little bit more, not
Yeah.
saying that I want to get a lot more off, but just a little bit more, just to kind of like reboot myself and not give up, like, never give up. And I think that it's nice to know that if you go off, and I don't think you can ever be too far gone or too far lost, that you can't get back on
Correct.
and just do, like, hop on and do another round, come in, get your guidance, do another consult,
Yeah.
whatever you need to do to get back on track.
No, I agree with that. I was off. I started in July last year, and I did 2 rounds back to back, and then I maintained until March.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to lose more, and so I lost more in March, and just did another round. So from March until August, I was fine, but I gained a little bit back. I started going back into some bad habits that I had, and I would eat a little too late, or I would eat something that I shouldn't have. And my body told me right away, hey, you know what? I don't really like that anymore.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so your body will tell you pretty quickly, and you feel it.
And I think for
Absolutely.
somebody who's right in the middle of the weight loss, like you are, right? You're right in the middle of the weight loss round. Just because you went off doesn't mean that it's done and over with, right? Get with your coach, let them know that you still want to keep going, let them get you back on track, and you can just jump back on and continue forward from there. So it's not over. Get back into it.
Yep,
get back
absolutely.
on that bike and start riding again. You'll get there.
Yeah, you've already done it. You can do hard things.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
hard, but you can do it. You've done it. You can do it again.
We can do anything for 4 weeks, right?
That's
Yes.
right. That's
and
what I
if,
say.
and if
I can
something
do
if
anything.
something does get in our way, right, we just plow right back on and get going again.
So we have a question from Rhonda. She says, I get the dietary and coaching guidelines. I've done other programs that offer the same. How do you exactly balance hormones for weight loss? I've had success before menopause.
Okay.
You can take that one.
Yeah. So before menopause, hormone levels are a little bit different. As soon as we start changing, heading towards menopause and get into menopause, right, the body starts not producing certain hormones. And when that happens, we see levels become not balanced, not where they're supposed to be, not where they used to be. There's also a nasty little S word called stress that factors into this as well, that will also make hormones become very unbalanced. So yes, dietary is important because all of these things are impacting your blood sugar level, right? So all of this, all the dietary things, the diet, the exercise, that's all important. The things that you don't get from those traditional diet and exercise programs are balancing stress and the stress hormone, and then also your estrogen and progesterone, which, definitely takes a hit the closer you get to menopause or then you're in it or beyond. So with our program, right, the things that we do besides the dietary side of things are the stress reduction and stress management, and then the all natural supplementation that's helping your body so that your body can naturally adjust these hormone levels, your cortisol, your estrogen and progesterone, maintain your blood sugar levels so that the weight can come off. And that's where you get the symptom relief as well at the same time. Great question.
What does the meal plan look like?
Ladies, meal plan. What'd your meal plan look like?
Loading days are the best.
All right. Well, if you don't know, tell them. So loading days, right? Loading days are the first 2 days as you're getting started into the weight loss part of the program. For anybody out there that has not had a consult or checked into us yet, this is where you are eating some good, healthy fats like some nuts, some dairy, some cheeses, avocados, meats, oils, things like that. This is, getting your body ready for high fat burning, which we get into on day 3. So it's pretty quick. And then the food plan changes, just a little bit from there, where we go pretty lean and clean on the foods so that our bodies can burn body fat. So yeah,
It's really easy to follow.
It is.
I mean,
it is easy.
yeah.
You have like your little journal, and you know exactly what you're allowed to have that day, and just you're prepared for it, and you know what you're doing.
Yeah. The whole food, the fact that it's all whole foods is
Yes.
just amazing. I I love that. I didn't think that it was going to
Nothing
be
processed.
as easy
Yes.
to follow and easy. And I mean, I cook very simply for myself. And so I would have all my portions out ahead of time. And so when I was hungry and I needed something, I would just grab this, that, put, heat it up. And there was my lunch. It was already ready, already made.
Yep.
But I do like the whole food aspect of that.
Yeah, and we're eating good foods, right? Everything you buy at the grocery store. So meats, eggs, vegetables, fruits, and then also,
Your
some
MCT oil.
Oil.
water, tea, and coffee, for beverages. So a lot of good variety there.
Your rice cracker when you need it.
Yeah, a little bit of starch.
Yeah.
We get a little starch in there with some gluten-free or some rice crackers for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, great question.
Yeah.
We have any more?
Yes, Secunda. She struggles with high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes and has the weight in her belly. Would this program help her?
Absolutely. I think we probably all had a little bit of the weight right in the center area. It's where it tends to come. So blood pressure, right? As soon as you get into the program, you start working on the program. A lot of our folks who are on blood pressure medications or maybe on the cusp of going on them tend to see that their blood pressure definitely gets regulated through this. So it starts coming down as the body's releasing fluids and things like that. So we typically see a lot of our folks start seeing their blood pressure, adjust into normal ranges where the doctors are usually having to, pull you down a little bit, wean you off, maybe, at some point even off altogether. Being diabetic, pre-diabetic, all of this is focused on balancing your blood sugar, right? And controlling the areas that are causing the insulin and that to come into the bloodstream. So this is really great for somebody who may be pre-diabetic or diabetic, or is just even concerned that somebody in their family has it and that they may head in that direction at some point. So we see a lot of great positive results and impact on people who are, in that pre-diabetes or diabetes range as well.
Christy would also like to know, she says she's addicted to sugar and caffeine. We hear this a lot.
Yes.
And how did you handle these? Maybe Natalie or Danielle. And did any of you struggle with these cravings and how did you succeed?
You're allowed, I think, is it 20 or 24 ounces of caffeine a day?
24.
So I always let myself have 2 cups of coffee. Sometimes I would maybe do 1 cup and then do decaf. The sugar cravings will go away. When you take it out of your body, I'm going to say within maybe a week or less, you won't have those cravings. Yep. They do go away. When your body, the more you have it, the more you're going to crave it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for me, I think it took a little longer for me with those cravings. I don't know why, but it did. I just kept saying, I feel like I want something and I don't know what it is. And that's your sugar addiction. That's your, but I was getting rid of it. And so it does work. And she's right. You don't, after a little while, you really don't have those cravings anymore. And things taste differently too when you go back to them.
Yeah, they do.
So all the things that used to taste so great that you're like, oh, I can't wait to have ice cream again, or I can't wait to have this or that. I don't eat as much of that stuff as I used to because it all tastes different and it isn't worth it. It isn't worth it. Yeah.
And I think your taste buds change, like in my opinion. Like if I have an apple, like I've never tasted an apple so good in all my life. It's just like
nature's sweetness.
It's like it tastes fantastic, but I think when you have all that processed food and all those sugars, you can't enjoy just a piece of fruit. But when you clean that all out and you're eating all the whole foods and nothing processed, then you can really just appreciate the taste of the food. Yes.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. We put so much stuff on food and doctor it all up to X level that you don't taste your food anymore.
Yeah.
How do you cook an egg without using oil or butter in the first month?
Well, you're allowed the coconut spray sparingly, so you could use that. I meal prep my eggs. I put them in a muffin tin with a tiny bit of coconut spray, and I cook 12 at a time, put them in the fridge, pop them in the microwave for 30 seconds and I'm ready to go. And even my husband, my kids, they all love them. They're little egg bites. And you can add any vegetable that you want to it. I personally just like them plain, or I sometimes put them on a salad or whatever the case is.
Yeah. I did some hard-boiled eggs.
Yes,
to
hard-boiled
avoid
eggs are good.
So,
Yeah.
because they're easy, they're an easy go-to. You know, have your salt there, hard-boiled eggs. You're good to go.
A little hot
And
sauce
with-
maybe.
Yes,
Yeah. A little Frank's
Also,
on
if
there.
if you crack an egg in a mug and put it in the microwave for 30 seconds, no oil, no nothing, it cooks an egg perfectly.
Mhm.
So, I mean, there's definitely where there's a will, there's a
There
way.
are ways
Yeah.
around. There are ways around all
Yes,
of that.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Any other questions that you got for us?
That's it for right
Okay.
now.
Okay.
So, ladies, I'll ask another question. How was this experience different for you than anything else that you've tried?
For me personally, I've never been able to lose this much weight. Like, I might have been able to get off, the most I've ever got off on other diets was 50 pounds, which was amazing.
Fabulous.
But then I got to a point where I was doing the same exact thing, and I was working out 5 days a week, could not get off 1 more pound.
Mhm.
I had no one to go to.
Yeah.
I had no idea what I was doing wrong because the first 50 came off,
Yeah.
but I couldn't get another pound off. And then eventually you eat so clean and you're doing that, you give up.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave up
Yeah.
because I couldn't push forward, couldn't get anything off. And that's the difference here. If you have a stall, you have someone to go to. You have the coaching, like, hey, what are you doing here? Or try this or try that, and it got me beyond where I even thought was possible. Like, if you would have told me a year ago, this is what I was going to weigh, I would have said, you're out of your mind. That's not me. It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
That's not me.
Mhm.
So I'm very very surprised, to be honest. And honestly, it is easy.
Yeah. Well, I think the more weight that you have to lose, right? And I think it's any weight though, right? Let's put it this way. The more that you've tried and the more that you've failed, right? Whether it came off and you put it back on, or it just didn't come off at all, or you tried and nothing happened and just kept gaining, which we've all been there too.
Yeah.
Right. I think the more that you try that and the more that you quote unquote fail, right, the more likely that you are to not want to do something different. And you're going to think that way, right?
Yeah.
Like a year from now, really, I can lose X, up to 100 pounds, like 20
Yeah.
pounds, 30 pounds, 50 pounds. It doesn't matter. I can lose that. Very hard to grasp that concept, right? And
Absolutely.
believe it.
Well, lose it and maintain it.
And maintain it. There
And
you
keep
go.
it off. Again, I've said it a couple times, but sustainability of this diet is really what is making it work for me.
Yeah.
It's very sustainable. You look at that and think, I can do all of this, and I have done it. And so you can go right back to it and get back on and get yourself back in and call somebody.
Yes.
If there is a stall, you can call. You can, how many times have you gotten calls, I'm sure.
Yeah, a
But
lot.
from not just me and Natalie, but from everybody.
But I did the same
What
thing,
happened?
right? When
Yeah.
I was in it, I was calling my coach or texting her or emailing her too and saying, hey, I have this question, I need this help, right? So you're right, the level of support, that makes it different. Targeting the hormones, helping, letting the body get those balanced is, I think, basically the main key too, right? Because without that, weight loss is a struggle and those symptoms are a struggle. So you have to find something that helps you there. Was there any other value that you guys, so weight loss, symptom relief, right? Like all this good stuff. Was there any other extra added value that you feel you got out of the program as well?
I think I found myself again.
Yes.
Nice.
I was on a really bad road for a really long time and didn't see any way to get out of that, and I just kept gaining and being more depressed and sad.
Yes.
And in my own, and I didn't do anything, and I was unhappy, and my family saw it and everybody around me saw it, and I couldn't get out of it, and I was able to with this.
Yeah.
It gave me hope again. And
Yes.
I looked in the mirror one day after about a month and said, "Oh my gosh, there you are."
Yeah.
And
There you are.
I didn't see me for a really long time.
How about you,
just,
Nat?
just to have your life back, or to be like a size that I never even thought I could be, or walking into a room not like, oh my, I'm the biggest person in this room.
Yes.
You know, not to feel like that. Or like I go to amusement park with my kids, and before losing this weight, I would be like, I don't think I can go on that ride because I don't think I could fit on that ride.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was able to go to Disney this past year, and I never thought about that once.
Yeah.
I knew that it wasn't a problem.
Yeah.
I knew that I was in a normal range weight, that it wasn't a problem. And it just, you know, that's just, you know.
And walking and not feeling winded.
Yes.
Walking up
yes.
your
Steps.
Yeah,
Be
you're
able to
going
keep up.
upstairs,
Yeah.
and then
Yes.
you forget something. You're all the way downstairs, and you forget something. Oh, I can't go back again. I'm out
Yeah.
of breath.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen anymore.
No, I just trot right up them
Yeah,
steps. Yeah.
I'll go back 3 times. Oh,
Yeah.
good. I'm getting
Yeah.
in more steps.
Yeah. And I think that for me, right, like getting off of certain meds, right, that was an extra value. I got off of 2 prescription meds. I also found that, you know, my relationship with everybody around me, right, got better too. So family, friends, coworkers, because I knew that I was not feeling well and, you know, I wasn't myself. But you don't realize how bad it is until you get better, right?
Yes,
And then you're like,
yes.
I knew it was bad, but I didn't know it was that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, so we're gonna ask one more question here for you ladies. So I know that, or actually, how about 2? So I know that it's taken us all a long way, you know, a long journey to get through. We've all spent a different amount of money because our paths have been a little bit different. But number 1, was it worthwhile for you?
Every penny.
Yeah.
The whole journey, everything.
Yeah.
Totally
Yep.
worth it.
Priceless. That's how I would
Absolutely.
say. Like just to feel better, forget the weight loss, just to feel better alone. I can't put a value on that.
Mhm.
That gave me my life back.
You're right. It
The
does.
weight
And
was
honestly,
a
And
bonus.
really, you don't even think about what, at least I don't. We've talked about this. I don't think about what I spent because
Correct.
I feel so much better. So it is priceless to be where you are.
Yeah.
And you got to realize too, like before this, how many times are you running through Starbucks? How many times are you running through all these drive-throughs or eating out, or you know?
Yes.
So or
You're gonna
paying
save-
all
spending
this
way
You're
more
gonna save,
extra
yeah,
money
yeah.
on processed food. So
Yeah.
really, when you weigh it out, how much more are you really spending? You know, and it is priceless to me.
Any advice that you'd give the folks that are on here watching today?
You can do it
You can do it.
and stick with it. It's easy to stick with, but you can do it.
Absolutely.
definitely do it.
Schedule a
Anyone can do it.
consultation. Definitely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And don't wait.
Don't wait.
Don't
Yes.
wait.
Don't wait to
Yes.
feel better. Don't wait to lose that weight. Just do it. You're gonna love yourself for doing it.
Absolutely.
All right. So we're gonna sign off from now. Thank you guys all for joining us. But before we go, anybody who's on the video streamcasting today, you will, if you decide that you want to do a consultation and get started on your journey to feeling better and looking fabulous as well, we're going to give you $50 off of your initial starting program. So go to BeBalancedCenters.com to register for your free consultation, and we look forward to meeting and talking with you soon. Have a great day,
Yes.
everybody.
Bye.